Hey, so just making this quick website to, what quick website, quick video to show, for example, how to work on the SWIC website, because that actually may be sort of a simpler way to get familiar with how all this works before you jump into our sort of quasi-internship project with the historical folks. So if I am on, of course, come to the repo on GitHub, that would be your first step. Click the fork button, and as it says here, that means you're forking your own copy of SWIC AITP website to your account. So as an example, if I was to go to GitHub Megan 777, she's been doing some work on here. See, here's the website. See how she forked it? So it says forked from here. The reason why you would want to do that, or why Megan did that, is because if you were to do some work on the website, you wouldn't be able to push that work up directly to this repo. And of course we wouldn't want that, right? We don't want anybody just to be able to clone it and then do some work and just push anything up, right? There has to kind of go through a process. So by forking the repo, you're creating your own copy, which means that you have read and write or push and pull access to your copy of the repo. So that's the first step, to fork it. Once you have forked it, then you would go through the steps to clone it. You would want to use HTTPS. I'm going to presume you don't have secure shell set up, and that's not a big deal. You will use HTTPS, click that link, and then go through the steps there. Now, just to sort of demo this a little bit more, I'm going to go ahead and fork this repo and sort of go through the steps. So I'm going to click fork at this time. Oh, I actually already have forked it. Okay, well then let me just go here. Okay, so we pretend that I already forked it and I have this copy here. Great. So I'm going to I'm going to use SSH because I have my system set up to do that. But at any rate, so click the HTTPS link for your purposes. So I'm here in my terminal, and I have created a code directory that's using the mkdir code command. I won't go into that for this video. You can always ask about that. And then I have a SWIC directory, and I have the IT club directory, and there's the website right there. I'm going to go ahead and blow that directory away just to show this process. Now, this command is very dangerous. It forcibly and recursively destroys directories. There's no recycle bin, so I would not advise you to use this command unless you double check with someone first. I want to blow this away so I can go through the process with you sort of from scratch. So if you were to type that command in the wrong directory, and you would lose a lot of stuff potentially and probably ruin your system. Okay, so I clicked the clipboard. So I'm going to say git clone, and I'm going in for oops, not RMFR. That's no good. I must have lost the. Okay, let's grab that link again. I'm going to command V that. Okay, that's for Mac. If you're on Windows, you'll need to hit Shift Insert to paste that. Oops, I didn't mean to do all that. Okay, that looks like it's correct, yeah. So you'll notice that it is cloning into website. So here's what happened so far. When I clicked fork, it moved it to my GitHub, but that's not on my computer. When I click clone, that gets it down to my computer. Now I can come in here to website. You'll notice it is a Git repo. The first thing I'm going to want to do is npm I or npm install, and that's going to bring in all those tools and package. It doesn't matter for this purpose. It's just a bunch of tooling that gets put together. In my class, I go over in more detail what this actually does. But so sometimes this takes a little bit. And anyway, you can do npm audit fix if you want. Here's what I want to show you, though. Git remote-v. So remote means that for me to talk to GitHub, for this local repo on my computer to talk to the repo on GitHub, it does that through something called a remote. So when I did that clone, it automatically created a remote named origin that points to this repo, okay? And that's all fine and good. Let's say I made some changes and I do git status, add, git commit, some of those things we've talked about before. And then I'm ready. Now I need to push to GitHub. After all that, I would say git push origin master. Again, this is assuming that I've done some changes and I've added and committing. I'm not showing that in this video. So git push origin master. So anytime I run this, it's going to take any of the commits that are in this local repo, and it's going to use the origin remote to push those up to the master branch, which is normally where we're working in a lot of cases. I'm not going to get into branching either for this video, but now, here's the issue. What if I want to so let's say we have 3 different people that make changes to the website, and that all ends up on the Swick AITP repo. Well, that's not very helpful because your local copy is not going to be in sync. It doesn't have everybody else's changes, correct? Well, I'm talking to a camera here, so correct. So what you need to do is add a second remote. So what you're going to want to do is come here to this Swick AITP, do the same procedure in terms of copying the link, okay? Again, use HTTPS. And here's what you want to do. Git remote add production and paste that link in. So what that's doing is it is going to add a second remote. The name of the remote is going to be production. So if I do git remote-v, now I have 2 remotes. This one here is two-way access. Don't worry about fetch versus push. We just use push for our purposes. So that allows me to read and write to my repo, or in your case, your repo. Hopefully that makes sense. You should be able to read and write to your GitHub, but you shouldn't necessarily be able to read and write to the Swick AITP. But now you have this production repo, so you can say git pull production master. So what that's going to do is any changes that have been done on the main repo, also known as the blessed repository, the one that's on the live web, that's going to update your local copy with all of those changes. And I think I'll go back and make like a more formal video explaining all of this stuff again. But this was just a quick video for Megan's question. So Megan, hopefully this helped you out, and maybe it helps some other people out. So the idea here is that you're working with remotes. Your origin points to your copy on your GitHub, and that's a push and pull read-write access. You're also adding a production remote. You can call it whatever you want. Production is a good name, but you can call it whatever you want. You can call it live-website or something. And that is a one-way. You can only get pull. You cannot get push. And of course, a lot of things I didn't cover in this video regarding like pull requests and things like that. So watch this video, write down your questions, and let's try to get all of this sort of straightened out going into this meeting on Thursday, hopefully. Thank you.